Here we have the Fifine AM8T microphone, and this is a dynamic microphone, no phantom power needed. On the back side we have an XLR port, a headphone out port, as well as a USB Type-C with at least data type USB 2.0 with power for RGB. And removing our foam, we see the capsule. And just to rotate slightly so we can see it is a vertical capsule, so we talk to the front of the microphone. That's where it's going to pick up. Here's our mute touch button, and red was mute on and green is speaking. And let's cover that up and check out the front. We have our RGB light changer. We can switch through different colors per tap. And what do I do to turn the RGB off? Well, we hold it just for a moment. And there it goes. And back on, holding it for about 2 seconds. And here we have our mic and our headphone volume. Rotation of these knobs is nice and smooth. Neither has a defined feel to it. It just simply rotates from positive to negative or negative to positive for more volume. Rotating to the backside, we see a standard 5/8" thread. This arm is included with the mic kit, and this is a desk mount. And this particular mount comes with a 5/8 outer diameter to a 3/8 inner diameter. And of course, the microphone mounts to this. The included cable with this microphone is USB-A to USB Type-C and is about 7 feet in length, which is about 2 meters. Really long, and it can be replaced with a different cable as needed. And you might be thinking, come on, get on with the mic testing. The entire time you've been listening to this microphone while I was actually showing the microphone connected to USB to the computer, connected through my DAW software for recording. Here's the mic set up on the included boom arm for this particular package. You can get it without the boom arm, but it's just a very good value option, which moves quite gracefully, so not a problem there. Should for the most part stay where you place it. This is an affordable option. It's not going to be like some $200 boom arm. This is very affordable and it works well for the task given. Now, in terms of tightening, if you have a problem tightening here, you want to make sure you tighten this, then turn it, because if you need a little more room, you're going to loosen this off. Then do that tightness and twist, and this should allow you nice tightness here. And that also allows us to adjust here more because this does swivel when it's loose. Now this microphone I have set to max volume right now, and even at max volume it records at decent sound without clipping and distorting our audio, so that is a bonus. Now let's back up from this microphone and hear the difference as we back away in terms of volume. And the vocal volume is probably dropping off massively, but what is the advantage of being up close and personal? The advantage is you're not going to get your computer fans or people in the next room so much speaking, as it more so isolates you and focuses on the sound that's close to it. Bonus for game streamers or those maybe podcasting. You are now hearing what the Sennheiser MKE600 is picking up. My computer fans right down here. Now let's switch over to this microphone to hear what this is picking up right now. And it's closer to the fans than the microphone right up here. Now let's see how this reacts to the sound about 3 feet away from the fans itself, facing different directions. I'll add in post which direction I'm facing so you don't have to actually watch the video to know which way it's facing. Mic towards the fan. Side of the body towards the fan. Facing away from the computer fans. Mic towards the fan. Back to me. And if you're a game streamer, that would matter to you in terms of noise rejection. You're now hearing what my Sennheiser MKE600 is picking up. So if I were to plosive versus plosive, and that's what that foam is going to help with, is to prevent those type of sounds of blowing on the microphone. Now let's listen to the noise floor when connected to XLR connection. I'll levelize the volume between both so the silence is going to be pretty much the same. Now let's listen to the silence when connected to XLR. Okay, so that was our quick comparison of XLR versus USB for connection type and silence. Now, one thing I must note, the frame here in the body of the microphone is not extremely tight. When I had the XLR connection, you'll notice I had it over top of the arm. That's because the weight of the cable in my particular situation was actually tipping this mic over. But the USB cable is so light, it really doesn't do that whatsoever. To fix this, just get a washer the same size as this rubber gasket, and then you're going to place it over top of the gasket just like so, and thread the holding nuts back into place. And now it's held in nice and secure. Right now you're hearing connection to XLR connected directly to my Tascam, which is connected to my digital camera. In terms of having RGB, we'll see we have it on still, but that's because I have the USB cable still attached, providing power to the RGB. As soon as I disconnect it, the RGB is now off. There's no mute button connection. There's no power to the microphone. It works simply through XLR and the interface you are using. And just to do a quick test of semblance, the fox with socks jumped into the box. His fur shone like the sun. When the fox runs, he runs down, down, down. Down, down, down the darkish hole. Now let's repeat that same test when connected to USB connection type. The fox with socks jumped into the box. His fur shone like the sun. When the fox runs, he runs down, down, down. Down, down, down the darkish hole. Yeah, that's just to give us some frequency range as well. Let's switch over. Now, the one thing that's nice about XLR and having the interface is I can get more volume, so I can back away while having good sound. So I could actually back away further as long as my audio interface can handle it. So right now I'm speaking fairly close to the microphone, but if I want to go further away, I will want to turn up the audio interface, and we can see I'm further away, but watch what I can do. And right now I'm further away from the microphone while I'm still getting decent volume. Now this is something that exceeds what you can do with USB connection because the audio interface allows that extra freedom and control of your audio device. However, having this much separation also means I can get some background noise a lot easier. Right now there is speaking in the background. Now, in terms of gain level and having XLR, you are going to want to use possibly a preamp. If you have, say, the Scarlett 2i2 Gen 3, you're not going to have enough volume without having to boost the volume levels in post, or you're speaking really close. For that separation, I was using a Vocaster 2, but the Scarlett 2i2 Gen 4 does have enough volume, as well as the Elgato Wave XLR. Game streaming, what is the experience when using this for game streaming? So we're going to play Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, record with OBS. Let's try this out.
We're inside a giant robot head.
And I got robot parts inside my head.
You have robot parts inside your head. Inside a
Rocket scores!
This game has a lot of talking.
Hey, Groot, what do you think I should do when I win this bet?
Found a nest. Maybe this is...
Let's see. When I beat
Rocket
Quill,
totally cheats in this game.
I'm gonna get my hands on some rotating hyper circuits. You know what, Quill? I think it's unfair. You got 2 guns, I got 1. I think my points should count double from now on.
That's cheating.
And that's what Rocket does.
Piss off every critter around, right?
And this is how this microphone sounds connected to my Android mobile phone. I have a Xiaomi 12X, and I'm using the Shure Motive Video app, and that way I can see my waveforms for my audio. And you can also use Open Camera if you want to use your included camera app. At least I found the experience is usually not as good on Android mobile. To connect to my Android mobile phone, I used a Type-C to Type-C cable. Mind you, it has to be data rated at least USB 2.0, which is 480 megabits per second. The boom arm. You might have heard, if you bump it, well, let's show you what happens. But it means we can, if we bump into it, we're going to hear sounds through it, especially these little springs, just like so. So as long as you're not bumping into it, it's going to be absolutely fine. Keep the microphone in front of you, but this is something at least to consider. And that shock mount I'm showing here, I used with my Shure MV7X in one of my review videos. I'll post a link in the description. Now you might be wondering, should you get the MV7 or this microphone, which costs 3 times less? Well, this microphone does require a bit more gain volume, but one thing it doesn't have a problem with is that plosiving, because the Shure MV7 has breathing, blowing noise into it, very simple, and it will ruin your audio that way. And this one works amazingly well at rejecting any noise around it. I'm truly impressed. However, just keep in mind, if you don't want to be close to your microphone, maybe this wouldn't be the best option, but it definitely is a great microphone for isolating sound around you like no other heard in its price range while having decent sound quality. I found XLR to be a bit better in terms of overall sound quality, but the choice and the method you plan to use for it is truly up to you. This is Eric of Sparky Studios. Thanks for watching, and have yourselves a most wonderful day.